welcome back to my YouTube channel. A few weeks ago, Marcin and I decided to attend yet another classic car gathering in Heiligenberg. Heiligenberg is maybe 60 kilometers away from Linz, but we decided to go there together. So I drove to Wels, where Marcin lives, and from there on we had maybe another 40 kilometers to Heiligenberg. Anticipation was very high until Monday in the evening. It was exactly then when I received a message from Marcin that he most probably will not be able to attend the classic car gathering because his ignition coil failed, or at least this was the diagnosis. So what was wrong with his car? It started but immediately died. So I remembered that I have a spare part in my basement, so I wrote him back that maybe we should try to solve the problem before canceling on the event. The ignition coil is here in the back of the car. That is the ignition coil. It is removable. It is easily removable. You just have to unscrew those two bolts here, remove those wires, and then it's out of the car. So we did that, installed the one that I brought with me. However, the result was even worse than before, because now the car didn't start at all. So we traced our steps back, we reinstalled his ignition coil and tried to find another solution. The next step was with the spark plugs. We removed both spark plugs, cleaned them, reinstalled them, but the result was all the same. The car started and died on us immediately. So at this point, Marcin grabbed his phone, called a very good friend of his who knows all about those Fiat 126Ps, and he suggested that we should remove the ignition distributor. The ignition distributor is right here. So we removed it, installed another one, and guess what? The result was still the same. We investigated the one that we removed from the car and noticed that the breakers weren't working properly. So they were stuck together. Normally they open and close on intervals. Then Marcin said that the day before he removed the capacitor right here. So we swapped it back to the one that was in the car, and suddenly the car started and it didn't die on us anymore. This was obviously a very positive thing. However, we weren't done. Now the car had serious misfires, and although some car owners do those on purpose, that wasn't our goal, so we had to sort the problem out. And sorting the problem out the problem is being solved out by resetting the ignition point of the car. That is an easy task to do, especially when you know what to do. I even did that a couple of years back, and it is very easy to do. So all in all, we lost 2 hours there, and it was close to 10:30 a.m. and at this point we knew that we weren't able to make the 11 a.m. deadline for the drive out with the group. So we didn't stress too much about that, took our time to go to Heiligenberg, and as we arrived there, most of the cars were currently gone, but there were still plenty of cars available, very beautiful cars, and the most desirable car, I would say, in Heiligenberg was the Volkswagen Beetle and the predecessor to our Fiat 126P, the Fiat 500. So we enjoyed the company, we enjoyed the car, we drank something, we ate something for, I would like to say, for 2 hours, and after that we left in style. The next thing on our plan was to go to Schlögener Schlinge. The Schlögener Schlinge is a tourist spot, mostly for cyclists, right next to the Danube. It is a very beautiful space. Of course, the Danube is Europe's most known river that starts in Germany and goes all the way to the Black Sea. There we were allowed to go on private property where normally only camping is allowed, but we asked very nicely, so we were allowed, and there we spent the next couple of hours, most of the time in the shade, because we and our cars needed a break. And around 5 p.m. we decided that it's time to head home. We gathered our stuff and went on our way. A day that didn't start on a particularly good note with the problem with the ignition coil turned out to be magnificent after all. Sadly, Gregor wasn't available on Tuesday because he's currently out of the country. However, we met a person, a new friend after all, who had completely different plans for the day, but we convinced him to take a ride with us, and it was his first time in 15 years that he was sitting in a Fiat 126P, so his emotions ran very high. Our next thing is already planned and scheduled for the upcoming weekend for Saturday. We will be going to the Attersee, then probably continue to the Wolfgangsee. Then on our way back we will be going to Gmunden, to the Traansee, where we were a couple of weeks ago. And I'm very much looking forward to this trip. The car is behaving flawlessly over the last couple of weeks. The last weekend I was in Český Krumlov and in České Budějovice. Then on Tuesday the classic car gathering in Heiligenberg, and then the trip to the Schlögener Schlinge, and now this trip on Saturday, which will add another 200 kilometers, so in total around 700 kilometers within a week. The main goal obviously is to go to Poland next year for a classic car gathering that was a couple of weeks ago that I didn't attend, but it turned out to be exactly what I am looking forward to next year, and I've heard only positive feedback, so that is the goal. But on that note, I would like to finish this video. So if you liked it, hit the thumbs up button, leave your comments down below, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.